Welcome back, my gardening friends. Well, yesterday was the shortest day, so the start of winter, and to be realistic, we haven't had too many really cold days, so there's not much going on the hashtag starting a new allotment. I've been using the leaf mould from out of these bins as well as this bin. Unfortunately, we've had so much rain here in the UK just recently, and that the water's got in, so I've had to drop it on its side to let it drain out on its own accord. We're doing a reveal on the leeks very soon, and I still haven't topped up the 2-bay leaf mould bin at the moment. But these leaves are getting plenty of water, getting really damp, which is exactly what I want. Shan't have the issues with dry leaves like last year. And the leaf mould's been really useful in the raised carrot bed in the polytunnel, which we'll show you shortly. Well, the strawberry tower with the built-in wormery, well, it's working. It's actually full now, but the water looks very clear. But at least we know now that the whole tower is saturated, and the worms are due for another feed. They get fed from the top. But other than that, most of the plants are doing quite well. If you remember, I've moved some of this soil to lower the crowns, well, raise the crowns should we say. But it's been far too wet to collect the rest of the soil to get into the polytunnel to sieve for in the raised boxes, but I have got plenty, plus what's in these bags. But none of it will go to waste when we do the no-dig raised beds in 2020. Still haven't tidied these up. I might just actually snip them all off and let them grow back in the spring. The raspberry canes, I normally nip my raspberry canes down, the autumn ones, in January. I don't normally do it before. I like to let all the goodness travel down the stems back to the crowns. Gives them an extra boost in the spring. Got quite a bit of damage to the fruit cage down this side, but that's because when I built it I should have just kept it in a little bit more. The wheelbarrow does catch it, and you've got something on the wheelbarrow and it just rips it apart. But I will be replacing it with this black pond netting eventually, once I've got a few spare pennies. So we'll move into the fruit cage, and all the leaves are now fallen. Now this is where I had my raspberry canes before, within the fruit cage. Now the birds don't normally eat the autumn fruit in raspberries, so that's why we moved them outside. And so I'm going to be, when I revamp this, I will film it, the pruning. I'm going to remove all the unnecessary wire and timbers. Some of them have gone rotten, but I'll save the wire, and we'll get these gooseberries, red currants, black currants pruned up ready. And in the back there, that's the summer fruit in raspberries, but I will take the tops off because they tend to go through the netting at the top and you can't get the raspberries. As you can see, we did have a casualty in one of the storms, so why keep it? The red currants and black currants will hold themselves up, so let's make it a little bit easier, and you can always nip through instead of walking all the way around in some of these areas. So we'll move into the brassica cage, and I'm regularly giving these a shake to try and get rid of some of the whitefly. And if you didn't see my roundup video, you'll this is the state of the Brussels. I've got nothing this time for Christmas dinner, so we'll have some from the supermarket this time. This is one of the better purple sprouting broccolis, not too much contamination, and hopefully we'll get some purple sprouting around about the January-February mark. We'll move on to what would have been this year's roots and next year's beans now, and these are the broad beans. I've uncovered them. The weather's quite nice really, cold, but not enough to affect these, so I've opened them up a bit. The winds and the rain has knocked the fleece about, so I shall put a little bit of fresh up as and when we get some of the worst weather. I've got some more timber under there ready to do some more of the projects. Some of the chard is still edible. And to be fair, the Swedes are quite nice. That half went into the clamp, and we left half here just to see how they what difference is it easier just to leave them in the ground. We'll move into the onion cage. We've got quite a few of the red onions come up, but we've still got some areas that haven't, and after a little bit of advice, and we'll see how we get on this time, I'll probably put these into modules next time to make sure, because the amount of rain that we've had is unprecedented. I'll show you the water supplies, and it looks like all the garlic that I had from Mike Hurdis has now come up. These 2 barrels are full of water now. Ideal to water the beans when they're growing on this bed this time. And both these drums are now full to help with the potatoes and the carrots. I've taken one of those from there. I've emptied all the soil out into that dustbin. It's really quite wet. Going to be doing a reveal on the Jerusalem artichokes grown in the ground and grown in those pots. Now my belief is that I'm going to grow them in these now, but I shall actually put them in the that bed up there. But we'll have a look, see what we've got. Got the plastic there ready. I've got the extra pallet height on the carrot boxes. It was too high before, not too high, it was actually 2 pallet collars high. We did get some damage by the carrot root fly, so I've increased the height on that. Took all the wood off, so I'll put it all back on, paint it, but everything is absolutely wet through, so hopefully they'll dry out now. And as you can see, the carrots that I've covered up are still sprouting, so they must still be alive. Again, we'll be doing a vegetable reveal soon. The brassica cage will come right up to here. This has had manure, it's all covered in cardboard, and remember the trees and bushes that we got from the tidy up there, at least it holds it all down, but well worth covering with cardboard. I bought these cuttings from some of the trees as well as the red and black currants, not knowing what variety or what they were. I've just put them into the pots. I bought them outside to get a little bit of fresh air, because stuck in the polytunnel they'll start going a little bit mouldy, so they're happy enough. Unfortunately, the only of my giant vegetables that I put back to seed, they've all rotted off bar from the giant beetroot, so we might get some seeds from that. I've also had another find. This, remember, I topped the bed up with compost to seal it up, and of course I've got to have somewhere for the compost. Some of these root balls aren't very good. and got another addition to them. I've got loads of little small pots, nice material, and I've got one of these polystyrene boxes. So I'm going to do my leeks later this time. A little bit of advice from William Coleman, and I saw that and people do grow them in there, so I thought, well, found it, may as well make use of it. I only put the seat there just out of the way. It will protect that area from the frost a little bit. We've got what, 6 bags there of sieve material for the bottom layers. So I've topped that area up there with cardboard. This is the actual sieving area now, and I managed to empty both of these, and these are now topped up and covered with cardboard. I started using that material with the sand, the spent potato compost, the compost you've just seen, and what was in the old beds. And I've managed to dig one out now because I just can't afford to put everything into bags, so I can mix it now, well, sieve it there and put it into that one, and hopefully by then this one will be empty. By the time that one's empty, this one might be empty. I've got about another 2 foot to go down there to get the rest of that sandy mix out. That's the overwintering potato challenge. That's the Christmas potatoes. The tomatoes that we pulped up and just put in there with the seeds all in are just there, and these are the onions that are going to seed. And realistically, the clamp hasn't had to do a lot, mainly because we haven't had it really cold, but I will be doing obviously for the Christmas vegetables, we'll be having a little look in there and see how they're doing, because they do tend to go rotten as well. So let's have a look when we actually get the Christmas vegetables out. We've lost a few roots on the grapevine from out that corner, some old wood from the old borders, and we've got one of the strawberries come inside and rooted down, so I had to take that out as well. I've got 2 water drums in there. This one's full. There we have it in that one. So in the summer now I'll have 2 drums of warmish water ready to use. For some reason the water's holding there, so I don't know whether the polytunnel's dropped or not, but it's still feeding this barrel, and as you can see it's overflowing. So this barrel's full, this one's full. I'm going to have another one there. This one's full, feeds from that side of the polytunnel. This is full and overflowing. Both RBCs are full. This RBC's full, so is the tank. We've seen these 3, they've all been filled up now, and the tank at the bottom is now full. So we're nearly at 100%. Managed to get this half tidy. You tidy it up and then you put all your junk back in again. But the red onions are just started to go a little bit soft, but they're still really good, so I'm happy with those as well. And I just need to sort these strawberries down here. That pumpkin's still there, and I still haven't been able to do the polytunnel repairs. It's been far too wet. I'm just hoping we don't get a storm and we end up with this split getting any worse. But it's no good doing it yet. It needs a really good dry day to get that silicone back together, and I can also get these 2 windows sorted. The silicone holds it pretty well, he says. Look, but that just stops some of the insects getting in. But I will go round and do a full check That's had some on last year. You can see we've got several repairs that we need to do. I didn't notice that before. Keep patching it up. It'll last another year. There's definitely not enough time in the day to get these jobs done, but now the days will get longer. Hopefully it won't be long before we can get up here at tea time after work to get a few of these jobs done. Thank you very much for your kind words and continued support. Happy gardening to you all. Till next time, my friends. Ta-ra for now.